I have watched all Star Wars except the last 4 episodes of The Mandalorian. The first time I actually genuinely lost interest, like not out of protest. It wasn't a statement. I just didn't care enough to watch the next episode. Was in Mandalorian season 3. I didn't even. Me and my kids used to wake up and watch it in the morning.
Yeah.
We'd wake up early, even on a school day. We'd wake up a little earlier. We'd watch Mandalorian, high five each other, and then I'd send them off to school. I stopped doing that. And then I stopped watching myself. I was like, there's just nothing here there's nothing here. So
yeah, Mandalorian season 3 was a complete loss.
What's that?
I said Mandalorian season 3 was a complete loss.
Oh, okay. So I'm not completely crazy.
No, yeah, they totally wrecked it. And after, I saw the Mandalorian season 1 and 2 and just was like, what is this? This is wonderful. The only thing I did not like, though, was the last scene that everybody loved was when Luke came on board. And I was like, I was like, how are they going to top this?
Oh, well, from that angle, that's a good point.
Yeah. I saw like, they're not going to be able to top this. And sure enough, they couldn't top it. It would have been really nice to figure out what they were going to do with Grogu. I didn't, I think they saw, well, look, people really love Grogu, so we're going to make money off this character. And so they couldn't just let him stay with Luke. They had to bring him back into the fold.
Yeah, I got a similar impression where it seemed like the way it moved forward in the Book of Boba Fett. That's where we saw what is the follow-up, what is the aftermath of the big Luke moment, which I loved. What's that?
Oh, I said stupidly.
Yeah, so in the Book of Boba Fett, which I thought was horrible, they tried to follow up on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think retro, like what you're saying, my impression was, okay, these episodes seem like people in a corporate boardroom chose from a menu, keep Grogu.
Yes.
Have Luke for one scene, put Ahsoka in the scene, and a side of Boba Fett. It's like they ordered it off the menu, and I was like, this is like hobbled together. It doesn't feel like. And then they kind of went the wrong way with it. He wasn't going to stay with Luke, and Grogu's like I'm going to be a Mandalorian. I'm like, what? You? Paul, you're going to be a Mandalorian? Like, who came up with this?
First of all, those episodes should have been in The Mandalorian, not in the Book of Boba Fett.
Correct.
I do remember, like, when the Book of Boba Fett was on, I was really excited about it when I saw the Book of Boba Fett trailer after the second season of Mandalorian, because it was a long time before we got it. I was like, because I was enjoying The Mandalorian. And then I was like, oh man, I'm totally going to watch that. But then I was busy when I was trying to, when Boba Fett was coming out. But then I was seeing all this stuff going by on YouTube, and I was like, gee, I just need to watch it. So I put it on while I was working. And that ended up being okay because I didn't think it was all that great. So I was able to watch it as I was working. But then when the Mandalorian episode came on, it was like a complete, like, hypnotic trance. I was working, and all of a sudden, like, the Mandalorian's music hit. And I was like,
well, oh, yeah.
And I just had to stop working and watch what was going on. But those shows should have been in The Mandalorian. And I remember when everybody was wondering what the choice of Grogu was going to be.
Yeah.
They got all of the YouTube, commentary class talking about what the choice of Grogu was going to be for 1 week. And they could have done that for an entire season.
Oh, my God.
That should have been the close of one of the seasons of The Mandalorian. And then people would have been talking about that for an entire year, and they completely blew it.
They totally did. And Heath, that's funny. I remember that too, watching the Book of Boba Fett, being like, man, another dumb Star Wars show. And then I click play, and then like, isn't he in like a meat locker type of setting? And he kind of just shows up like a Western. I'm like, the Mandalorians and Boba Fett? I was like, oh, cool, a crossover. Then I was like, boy, we're 30 minutes in and there's still no Boba Fett. I was like, is this a Mandalorian episode? Like, I was just thrown off because it was clearly, unequivocally a Mandalorian episode. And it didn't even try to hide it.